Hello everyone, this is Aishwarya from Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering from 3rd Sem. My USN is 1V22 IS003. We'll be knowing about OOPS with Java, in that constructors and parameterized constructors. First, let us see what is constructors. Constructors in object-oriented programming serve the purpose of initializing the state of an object when it is created. First, let us see the initialization. Constructors ensure that object starts with a valid and meaningful state by initializing their attributes or properties. They provide a way to set initial values for the instant variables of a class, establishing the object's starting condition. Next, let us see the name and signature. Constructors have the same name as the class they belong to. They may or may not have parameters. Parameterless constructors are often called default constructors. There are two types of constructors: default constructors, parameterized constructors. Default constructor has no parameters and is provided by the compiler if no constructor is explicitly defined in the class. Parameterized constructors accept parameters, allowing customization of objects initialization. Now let us see the object instantiation. Constructors are called automatically when an object is created using the new keyword. Allocate memory for the object and initialize the state. The next, what is overloading constructors? Like methods, constructors can be overloaded, meaning a class can have multiple constructors with different parameter list. This allows for flexibility in object creation. Now let us see how the initialization blocks in constructor is used. Beside constructors, initialization blocks, static and instance, contribute to setting up the initial state of objects. Instant initialization blocks run before constructors. Now let us see the visibility and access modifiers. Constructors can have access modifiers, public, private, protected, defining their visibility. The choice of access modifier influences the constructor's accessibility from other classes. Constructors play a crucial role in ensuring proper object initialization, allowing for customization, and establishing the initial state of objects in a class. They are an essential part of object-oriented programming, contributing to the integrity and usability of code. Let us see a simple program based on constructors. Here, a box uses a constructor to initialize the dimension of a box. This Java program defines a class named box and a class named boxDemo6. First, box class. The box class has three instance variables: width, height, and depth, all of type double. It includes a constructor box that initializes the dimension of the box to width is equals to 10, height is equals to 10, and depth equals to 10. The constructor also prints constructing box when called. There's method named volume that calculates and returns the volume of the box using the formula width into height into depth. The second, box demo 6 class. The box demo 6 class contains the main method, which serves as the entry point for the program. Inside the main method, two box objects, myBox1 and myBox2, are declared and initialized using the new keyword which calls the box constructor. The volume method is then called on each box object and the results are printed. As a result, when you run this program, it will create two boxes objects, initialize them with the default constructor, print constructing box twice, and then displays the volume of the two boxes. Program is run, it generates the following results: constructing box, volume is 1000, volume is 1000. Both myBox1 and myBox2 were initialized by box constructor when they were created. Since the constructor gives all boxes the same dimensions 10 by 10, both myBox1 and myBox2 will have the same volume. The println statement inside box is for the sake of illustration only. Most constructors will not display anything. They will simply initialize as an object. When you allocate an object, you use the following general form: class minus variable is equals to new class name. Now you can understand why the parentheses are needed after the class name. What is happening is that the constructor for the class is being called. Thus, in the line box my box1 equals to new box is calling the box constructor. When you do not explicitly define a constructor for a class, then Java creates a default constructor for the class. This is why the preceding line of the code worked in earlier version of box that did not define a constructor. The default constructor automatically initializes all instance variable to 0. The default constructor is often sufficient for simple classes, but it usually won't do for more sophisticated ones. Once you define your own constructor, the default constructor is no longer used. Let us see what is parameterized constructors. Parameterized constructors are constructors in object-oriented programming that accept parameters during object instantiation. Unlike default constructors, which have no parameter, parameterized constructors allow you to initialize the object with specific values provided at the time of creation. They provide a way to customize the initial state of an object based on the values passed as arguments, while the box constructor in the priority example thus initializes a box object. It is not of various dimensions. Here is an example program where box uses a parameterized constructor to initialize the dimensions of a box. Java program defines a class named box and a class named example. Here, first, let us see what is box class. The box class has three instance variables: width, height, and the depth, all of type double. It includes a parameterized constructor, box double w, double h, double d, that initializes the dimensions of the box with the values provided as parameters. There's a method named volume that calculates and returns the volume of the box using the formula width into height into depth. Second, example class. The example class contains the main method, which serves as the entry point for the program. Inside the main method, two box objects, myBox1 and myBox2, are created using a parameterized constructor specifying different dimensions. The volume of both boxes are then computed using the volume method and printed. As a result, when you run this program, it creates two box objects with specified dimensions and prints their respective volumes. The output of this program will be volume is 3000, volume is 162. Each object is initialized as specified in the parameters to its constructor. For example, in the following line box myBox1 equals new box 10, 20, 15. The values 10, 20, and 15 are passed to the box constructor when new creates the object. Thus, myBox1's copy of width, height, and depth will contain the values 10, 20, and 15 respectively.